All right, let's talk about studying. We're going to completely transform how you do it. We're moving away from those long, frustrating nights that don't seem to get you anywhere. And instead, we're going to turn your study sessions into something powerful, effective, and, believe it or not, actually rewarding.
Does this sound painfully familiar? You spend a whole weekend grinding, you're reading, you're highlighting, you feel so productive. But then a week goes by, or even worse, it's exam day, and it's like it all just vanished. This is such a common experience. But listen, it's not because you're bad at learning. It's because you're probably caught in a trap. And that's exactly what it is, the study trap. It's this vicious cycle of using study methods that feel like hard work. You know, they make us feel like we're doing the right thing, but in reality, they are just incredibly inefficient for building real, long-term knowledge.
And this right here, this breaks down that trap perfectly. I mean, think about it. We spend hours just rereading our notes, but that's totally passive. Your brain is just coasting. Same thing with highlighting. It creates this dangerous illusion of knowledge. You see a page covered in yellow and you think, yep, got it. But all you're really doing is recognizing it. And last-minute cramming? That's like trying to fill a leaky bucket. The information just pours right out.
So how in the world do we get out of this trap? Well, it comes down to one golden rule that changes literally everything. We have to shift from being passive consumers of information to becoming active participants in our own learning.
The secret sauce here is a concept called active recall. It's so simple but so powerful. Instead of just looking at the answer in your notes, you force your brain to go find it. You close the book, you ask yourself the question, and you try to pull that information out of your head. Every single time you do that, it's like doing a rep at the gym for your brain. You're making that memory stronger.
I absolutely love this quote because it just nails the difference. Passively reading is like watching a fitness video on your couch. Yeah, you get the idea, but you're not building any muscle. Active recall? That's you in the gym, actually lifting the weights. Sure, it's harder, but it's the only way you actually get stronger.
Okay, so if we're going to do this mental weightlifting, we need the right equipment. So let's stock your new study toolkit with 2 incredibly powerful, science-backed techniques that put active recall into practice.
First up is the Feynman technique. This thing is brilliant. It's not about memorizing, it's about really understanding. So you pick a concept, then, and this is the key, you try to explain it in the simplest terms you can, like you're teaching it to a kid. Now the magic happens when you get stuck, or when you find yourself using complicated jargon. Boom! You've just found the exact gaps in your own understanding. So you go back, you fill those gaps, and you make your explanation even simpler.
Our second tool is called spaced repetition. See, our brains are naturally wired to forget stuff over time. It's called the forgetting curve. This technique is how you fight back. Instead of cramming it all in at once, you review the material at longer and longer intervals, right when you're about to forget it. Each time you do that, you're sending a powerful signal to your brain saying, hey, this is important, keep it. And that's how you build long-lasting memories.
Now, these aren't just a couple of neat tricks. The real power, the real magic, happens when you combine them into a consistent, repeatable study cycle. This is how you build a system for learning just about anything.
So this is what your new study session looks like. It's a simple loop. First, you learn a new concept deeply using the Feynman technique. Then, you test yourself using active recall, flashcards, practice questions, whatever works. Then, and this is crucial, before you're done, you schedule your next review using spaced repetition. Maybe that's in 2 days, maybe it's in a week. Then you just repeat. Learn, test, schedule, repeat. That's your new blueprint.
Look, I know this might seem like a lot to change, but you don't have to throw out everything you're doing overnight. The real key here is to just start small. Because even one small shift towards these active methods can have a gigantic impact on what you learn and how confident you feel.
And if you need a little extra motivation, just look at this number. Studies have shown that using active recall can boost your long-term retention by over 50% compared to just passively rereading. I mean, that's not a small improvement. That is a complete game changer. That's the difference between remembering something for a day and remembering it for life.
So that brings us to the end of this explainer, but really, it's just your beginning. We've talked about the Feynman technique for true understanding and spaced repetition for long-term memory. So I have one question for you. Which one of these tools will you try in your very next study session? Just pick one, give it a shot, and start studying smarter, not harder.